Guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Kylie, and in today's video we're going to be doing a high school advice video for underclassmen, so upcoming freshmen and sophomores. This video is for you guys, so I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go. Alright guys, so as you guys may or may not know, if you're new to my channel, I'm 16 years old. I'm going to be a junior this year, and I wanted to kind of inform you guys, if you are an upcoming freshman or sophomore, just some tips and tricks that you guys should take along with you. I'll be doing 4 categories today. We're going to be doing academics, mental health, romantic relationships, and friendships. So this is all advice that I would take and some things that I've experienced in these 2 years. First category is academics and grades. And so the first tip that I have for you guys is just prioritize. I can't say that enough. Like, there's so many things that will catch your attention in high school. You guys may know some various reasons that may stray you from your schoolwork, but the main thing that you're at school to do is actually to learn, and for most people to get into college. So you need to prioritize your schoolwork, studying, all of those things if you want to achieve better grades, a good GPA. All of those things go into prioritizing. My next tip is high school is different than middle school. So middle school learning and high school learning are completely different. This is definitely something that I learned freshman year going into sophomore year, is that middle school learning is more memorization, so you can use flashcards, minimal studying. But when you get into high school, it's more like knowing the answer, but also knowing why the answer is the answer. So you have to kind of do extra studying. It may take longer hours, all those things. So you want to make sure that you know the difference so that you're not bringing those old 8th grade habits into. Tip 3 is ask for help when you need it. Don't pretend you know something when you don't. This definitely has been something that I struggle with and still struggle with since I've been in school. Like, as long as I can remember, I've always hated not knowing the correct answer, having to ask a teacher, because I just feel embarrassed. You feel like you're dumb when you have to ask questions and get extra help. But I promise you guys, sophomore year, I had to do that. It's changed my whole style of like learning, and teachers are willing to help you, so don't be afraid to go ask them. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit out of your day. After school, you may feel like you don't need to do it, but I promise you guys, it is really definitely worth it and can help. 4 that I have is be on top of your assignments. Do not procrastinate, guys. I know a lot of you guys are procrastinators, tend to not want to do your work or see if you have like a week to get it done. You're like, I can get it done later. Sometimes that's necessary if you have more assignments that are due closer to the due date. But I recommend always getting that done as quickly as possible so you can move on to the next thing and have extra time for studying for things, because everything's going to pile up pretty quickly. So you don't want to procrastinate and then just have everything due at the same time. Just get it done when you have some extra. Tip 5 is turn in any assignments, late or on time. My motto is anything is better than a 0. So even if the assignment is late, still try to turn it in if your teacher allows that. I know some teachers don't allow that, but if they do, turn it in anyways. Anything is better than a 0, even if it's a low grade. Would you rather have a 15% or a 0%? That's kind of the thing that it goes with. So along with that last tip, don't procrastinate, but if you do and you're still able to turn it in, because anything is better than a 0, and a 15% can help your grade more than a 0%. Retake anything you can. Remember, whatever you have now is better than what you had before. So going off that last one, just try to retake any tests or quizzes if your teacher allows that. If you didn't get a good grade, you could possibly study and get a better grade, because obviously a 70 is better than a 50. So just retake anything that you have that you possibly could retake, but also make sure that you prepare for that. Don't just go back into it, barely get anything. If you're gonna retake it, you want to at least get 20% higher than you did before, or whatever the percent is. Normally teachers are like, you can retake it up to a 75. That is much better than, say, a 50. So if you can retake it, I recommend retaking it, because it's definitely worth it when you look at your grade overall. Study. Guys, studying is very important. You got to create good study habits, work for you. Every night, I would say, in high school or just underclassmen, you're going to have 2 hours or more of studying. So you kind of have to get your brain wrapped around that, because transitioning from 8th grade to 9th grade, you're gonna have a little bit more studying, and you're gonna need to get your brain wrapped around that again, because it's not just memorization. You have to actually know what you're talking about and know how to explain that. So make sure you're studying. I would say start out with 2 hours, and then if you need to gradually get more, then you will. But studying normally takes up a lot of high schoolers' nights. You'll typically be going to bed around 11, 12-ish. So just get your brain wrapped around that. But I promise you guys, if you study, your grades will definitely reflect. I think focus during class to take helpful notes. Guys, if you guys focus and organize your notes to a way that you can reread them when you get home, if you're a little stuck and you have good notes, then it's going to look really, really great when you are going back to study. So if you're paying attention in class and taking good notes that you can review when you get home, that's always a good habit to have, and you won't have to spend your study time trying to figure out what you need to do or trying to relearn the thing if you weren't paying attention in class. So those two things kind of go hand in hand. What I basically just said, create a good note-taking style. This will help with your studying. Better notes equals less hassle. So if you have better notes, then you'll be able to get straight into studying those notes, practicing, whatever. But if you take poor notes and not studying in class, then when you get home, you're going to end up having to do that process that you should have done at school. So that's just going to take more time into your studying, getting you to bed late, and that's just not what we want. So try to prioritize that. And then finally, tip 10 for this category is manage your time in the classroom and at home. So going along with those other two notes that I just told you, manage your time. Make sure that you're prioritizing what times you need to do this, and that. If you have after school sports or activities, work, you need to make sure that you're definitely on that, because that takes up time as well. And then that means you have less time at home to do homework and things like that. So make sure that you're managing your time and also getting stuff done at school if you can, like getting your assignments done in class so that you don't have as much to do when you get home. That is it for the academics and grade section. So now we're going to move on to mental health. So next category is mental health, and this can differ between if you have anxiety, depression, anything like that. My list for this is a little bit short because I feel like I'm on the lower spectrum of anxiety and stress, but still I like to take these steps into consideration. First thing is take breaks, guys. Take breaks. When you're at home studying and you've been studying for 3+ hours and you still have maybe 2 to go, take a break in between that. Not like a whole hour break, but like take a 15-minute, 20-minute break, get a snack, use the bathroom, get some water, coffee, whatever you need to kind of get yourself back going. And also just to take a mental break, scroll on TikTok or something for a little bit. I know that's a little bit like, Kylie, I'm going to be on TikTok for like an hour. But limit yourself, guys. Even when you're taking breaks, you still need to make sure you're prioritizing what you need to do after you're done. But take breaks, because sometimes you can overwhelm yourself and try to cram things in when you really just need to take a break, and your studying will go by so much. Two is also plan out your days. Your brain is so much more functional if you know what you're doing. So if you know what you're doing, you're not going to be stressed. So make sure you get a planner or set up a Google Docs or something that you can keep up with your school assignments and tests and quizzes, games, practices, anything like that, so that you can kind of balance out every day. So you're not kind of like, oh, what do I have to do next? How much stuff do I have today? Because that's just going to make your brain even more stressed than it already is, just trying to figure out what it needs to do next. So if you have a little system where you know what you need to do, then that'll kind of lower the stress levels. Finally, the third tip is to do some self-care, journaling, everything shower, bed rots. This is some things that you can do on the weekend after a full week of school. Kind of need to decompress, chill out a little bit. These are some things that I like to do to reset for the next week. So I do normally try to journal whenever. I kind of don't have a set time, but if you're, feeling some type of way, get it out. You don't always have to talk to someone. Journal it. Everything shower is always nice, exfoliate, kind of physically glow yourself up for the next week. And then bed rot. That's just kind of like a whole day where you just sit in bed, do nothing, watch TV on your phone, TikTok, whatever. So I kind of like to do those things to kind of mentally refresh and cleanse my brain for the next week. So those are all the steps for the mental health, and now we're going to move into romantic relationships. Next category is romantic relationships, and this is something that I feel like every high schooler goes through, boy or girl. you want a boyfriend, you want a girlfriend, all these things. So these are kind of things that I've learned doing this type of thing, talking stages, dating. And what I would recommend for underclassmen is don't be pressured. Just take your time. You don't have to rush into trying to get your first kiss if you haven't had it, trying to get a boyfriend as quickly as possible if your other friends have one. Like, just kind of just calm down. You don't have to rush into anything. What I say is God's going to have your back. God has a plan for you. Don't try to rush into it. It'll find you. You don't have to find it. That's kind of what I would say. Second tip, be smart with who you choose. Just because this person is attractive doesn't mean that they have a good personality, and vice versa. You don't always have to go for looks. I feel like looks is an important thing when you're looking for a partner, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. So even if that guy or girl is cute, doesn't mean that they're gonna have a cute personality. Like, no. You need to make sure that that person is something that you're looking for, not just on the outside, but on the inside too. Tip 3. Situationships, just period. Like, everyone's been in one, someone's in one at some point or another. Those things are just gonna be natural. There's gonna be someone who wants a relationship but then changes their mind midway when you guys are talking, something like that, and you just kind of have to read that person. I feel like if you're over here kind of being really insecure and not sure where their head is at, you're gonna need to ask them, stop talking to them, just cut off all contact before you're getting hurt because they didn't know what they wanted. So that's just something that everyone goes through. Everyone goes through it differently and handles it differently. But those are definitely common in high school, so be prepared for those weird situations that you may Tip number 4, priorities. Remember your standards. Don't settle, you guys. Don't lower your standards for a guy or a girl. Like, it's just really not worth it because you're gonna be like, oh, I have a boyfriend or I have a girlfriend, but he or she is not really what I'm looking for. They don't make me feel that certain way that you want to feel when you're with someone. So, like, again, going off the first one, like, don't be pressured just to get with someone, Like, you're lowering your standards. You want to keep your standards up. Every girl or every guy has a standard for their partner. Don't lower them just because you want one or you're desperate or something like that. Take your time and don't settle for something less than you know you deserve. Like, period. Like, no. Do not settle, guys, please. Step, don't cry over men or women. Like, ultimately, that's what they want you to do. If they broke up with you, they're gonna want you to feel that. Like, most people, when they break up with you, they are not going to be nice. They're not going to do it in a respectful way that most people should do it. So first of all, don't be that person. If you do end up breaking up with someone in high school, like, don't be nasty about it. But also, like, if you are the one getting broken up with, the process, okay. When someone breaks up with you, you're going to be in your feels. But, like, after you're in your feels for that good, 2 weeks of heartbreak, just come on, move on to the next person, focus on you, do something that's gonna uplift you. Crying over someone is just, for a long period of time, that's wasteful to your life. Like, no, you're not gonna let this person that broke up with me 2 months ago ruin the rest of my year, the rest of my life. Like, no. So just don't cry over someone after you've gone through that breakup period. Like, it's just not necessary at that point. You need to focus on you, focus on who you're going to be with next. 6, stay true to yourself. I feel like this is always some advice that people give and they're like, oh, like, that's the worst type of advice. But it really is. You should prioritize that. Like, be true to yourself. Don't change yourself to be with someone else. Don't change yourself for other people to like you. Like, that's not necessary. Someone in this world will like you for who you are, and maybe you just haven't found that person yet. Like, don't change the way that you are for someone else, because at the end of the day, they're not seeing your true self and you're not feeling your true self. So just change the way that you think and the way that you do things when you are trying to talk to someone or trying to get in a relationship with someone. Don't try to change yourself. It may be challenging. I've gone through that. Like, I've been wanting to change my physical appearance, trying to change my personality. And at the end of the day, once I've gone through that person, I'm like, wow, like that was not me at all. I wasn't being true to myself or true to the person I was with. So just think about that when you are deciding or being insecure. Just think about that. Take that into consideration. This one could be a little bit toxic, but this is just my motto. Break up before they break up. It takes away some of the pain. So if you're feeling confused or kind of overwhelmed, or you're overthinking about your partner and they're not trying to accommodate with that, then you need to go ahead and get down to the bottom of it. And then if that's just not looking like something that you want to be dealing with, you need to go ahead and remove yourself from the situation before they remove you. Because it's something that I feel like empowers me a little bit more when I break up with someone. And then I'm like, okay, I did that for me. I feel better about myself moving forward. It's just kind of like a self-confidence buildup. Not an ego buildup, but just self-confidence. Like when someone breaks up with you, you're not going to be feeling happy about it unless the breakup was mutual. Just breaking up before they break up gives you a little bit more self-confidence, and also just like proves that you saw what they couldn't see. Like, yes, you saw what they couldn't see. So that's just some advice. It could end up being toxic if you're doing that all the time, but for self-confidence, not ego building. Tip 8, girl code, period. If you're with a boy and then y'all break up and then your friend gets with the same guy, that's not girl code. You need to remove that friend immediately, because if your friend really cared about your feelings, they would not go after a boy that you were with. That's just not cool. And if you guys are friends, then you will respect that and not do that. I've seen those things happen within my own friend group, and it does not end pretty, guys. Like, seriously, don't pick your boyfriend over your friends, because at the end of the day, most likely your boyfriend is going to break up with you, or y'all are going to break up, and then you're going to have no friends. So just prioritize that balance. Like, balance your boyfriend and hang out with him and chill with him and do all the things with him, but then also remember your friends that were there before him. If he breaks up with you, you'll still have your squad. But if you kind of just push them to the side, don't prioritize them as much, and kind of focus on this, and then this crumbles, they're not going to want to come back because you treated them terribly when you were with him. Just think about that also when in relationships. Okay, tip 9, decide who's wearing the pants, guys. So what I mean by that, who's wearing the pants, who's the dominant one in the relationship. Normally, I like to be that. The man or woman in your life could be that as well. But that's just like the person that takes charge in the relationship. That's really all that means. Just decide who's wearing the pants so that you're not having dumb arguments in the future regarding who's in charge of the relationship. So just keep that in mind as well. And then 10. This one is very, very important. This is like one of the main reasons for breakups. Communication. Communication is key. You need to talk it out if you are having issues, problems. That's just something you have to do. If you're not willing to talk it out, or you don't want to talk it out, it's going to lead to a breakup. It's going to lead to arguments. It's going to lead to a lot of different things. So if you're not comfortable talking, you got to find a way to get that out. Whether it's text, a letter, an email, a note, like something. You got to say something. Like, you don't have to say it to their face, but you need to be able to communicate that in some way. Like, it's not, he or she is not going to be able to read your mind. You have to be able to speak up if you're having an issue or a problem, so that you guys can be able to fix it and move on. That is it for the romantic relationships. Okay, guys, and finally, we are going into the 4th and final section. This is about friendships. Friendships can definitely change once you get into high school freshman year. And I'm gonna tell you guys, your circle is going to get smaller and smaller until you get to senior year. You're gonna lose friends. That's just the way that life goes. But you will find a really good circle. Tip number 1, I would say, you don't need 100 friends. You may start out with 100 friends. I promise you guys, once you get to senior year, you'll have maybe 2 to 3 really good friends that you can trust. And that's really all you need, essentially. Like, you really don't need a big friend group. It's not really necessary, because I promise you that friend group is going to split up one way or another. So first, you just have to mentally prepare yourself for that, but also try to find those really good friends that you can trust, hang around and girl code and all of those things, because those are the people that you want to like go into adulthood with. You don't need a bunch of friends to be happy and to have someone to go to, you know? All right, tip 2, popularity will get you nowhere. If you're popular, that's really cool. Like, you have a bunch of friends, as I was saying the last time, but half of those people that are popular are very toxic. If you are popular, like, don't take this as an offense, but like, as someone coming from not being popular, like, I'm not very popular. I feel like I'm well known, but I'm not popular. Those things are two different things. But if you're popular, I'm telling you, once you leave high school, it's literally going to get you nowhere. I promise you, in college, no one cares if you're popular or not. In the real world, no one's going to care. That thing's not even going to exist. In my opinion, I think popular people peak in high school. So if you're focused on getting popular and being all cool and whatever, it's really not necessary, and it's gonna stop in 12th grade. Like, I promise you, like, it's not gonna do anything for you in the real world. So popularity just gets you nowhere, and actually you just don't need it. You really don't need it. So don't strive to be popular. It's not necessary. All right, tip 3, don't associate with drama. A lot of drama in high school, period. Like, you're either gonna be in it, you're gonna hear it, it's everywhere you go. And what I mean by don't associate yourself with drama is don't be the source or be the cause of the drama. Now, I like hearing about drama. Like, I like hearing about it and telling other people about it, which is not the healthiest thing, but come on, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But just don't be the cause of the drama. It's cool to talk about drama and to spread drama, but being the source and the reason for the drama, it's totally different, and that can affect your mental health, your social life, all of those things. So just don't be the source or in the mix of the drama. All right, tip 4 is be yourself. I know, again, I said that that's kind of cheesy, weird advice, but it really is true. Don't try to be someone that you're not, because people in the end will figure it out. They will find out that you're being fake or you're just being toxic, all those type of things. So just as long as you're being yourself, that's all you can really do. And whoever gravitates towards your true self is who you should be with. All right, tip 5. No one likes a pick-me. If you're a pick-me, stop being a pick-me. No one likes a pick-me. Pick-me's, leave that in middle school. Leave that in middle school, because when you get to high school, I promise you, no one is going to want to be friends with a pick-me. No one is going to gravitate towards a pick-me. Just knock that habit off, seriously. Like, again, going back to the tip I said, be yourself, because pick-me's, they're not really pick-me's. Pick-me's are probably really nice people. They just choose to act like that. And that's not being yourself. So stop being a pick-me. No one likes a pick-me. No one's gonna care in high school. All right, tip 6. Whoever you associate yourself with is who you're gonna turn into. So if you're with a group that's just toxic, mean, popular, all those things, you're probably going to eventually kind of start acting like them, treating other people like they treat other people. And most of the time, that's a negative thing. So you want to associate yourself with people who rub off on you the right way. Choose wisely, because there's a lot of friend groups that normally come and go throughout high school, and you can either build that friend group. I always say build a good friend group. Don't join a toxic. 7 I have is be active and social. I fear is the best about the high school experience is just to be able to go to football games, join a club, join a sport, because one, you may find really, really cool people, but also it's just able to get you in your social life, especially if you're new to a school. Go to the games, join a sport, join a club, just do something with a lot of people that you could probably interact with, because that's the whole point of the high school experience, is just to be able to have fun with a big group of friends. Main point of high school, you know, really fun stuff. Alright guys, and the last tip of this video is to be diverse. Have friends that are girls, have friends that are boys. Surround your circle with a bunch of different cool people. I'm not trying to be racist, but don't have a bunch of white friends and a bunch of black friends. Like, kind of like mix it up. Sometimes it's really fun, and it really doesn't matter their skin tone, as long as you like them, their personality, how they treat other people. All of those things I feel like go into a good person and a good friend group. So be diverse. You don't have to have all girlfriends. If you want a few friends that are boys, that's cool too. Yeah, that is it for the Alright guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on your bell notification so you don't miss a video. All my socials will be right here and in the description below. I post every Monday at 8 a.m. EST, and I hope to see you guys back again for another video. Bye!